Hey guys, just wanted to kind of go through my process for setting defenses here. Kind of walk through my thought process. So, my opponent is Potato. So, one of the first things I like to do is sort by speed. Just to kind of get a look at what he's got. I ran the DSR bot, and we have pretty close, I'd say. I have a couple tunes that are slightly better, but overall, we're kind of close. So after kind of looking through his roster, I just kind of showing you some of his top speeds. After kind of looking through his roster a little bit, his two best teams appear to be Jedi Knight Revan and Night Sisters. So when I kind of went through his roster, kind of start up here, Sith Empire, I'm not going to be super worried about his Darth Revan team. I think he's going to save it for offense because I don't think he has a viable defense with it. And if he does put it on defense, I can just kill this fairly easily with CLS. So his Sith, he doesn't have Traya, so it's reasonable that he will use his Palpatine plus Darth Revan team, or Palpatine plus something else to beat my Darth Revan team if I put it on defense, which is fine. So everything I'm seeing so far makes me kind of want to put my Darth Revan on defense, mostly because I don't see him putting his on defense, and if he does, I won't need either Revan to kill it. So we come up to Separatists, and he'll probably put like a Grievous team on defense. That's kind of my thought. He has him modded for health, but he doesn't have him gear 13. My kind of thought is he would put like a bad droid team on defense. Scoundrels, I mean, he has the generic ones. So we come to Rebels, and I see that he has like nothing super terrifying. Phoenix. Come up to Old Republic. And so he has a Karth team. He has Juhani instead of Canderous. So I'm not really scared of that team. Canderous is probably one of the most important tunes. So from my experience using the Karth team, you're basically using Karth for his Zeta, but he's not particularly good. He kind of hits like a noodle, kind of squishy. So the team is really just Canderous, Mission, and Zalbar. I don't like Juhani. I don't like her assisting. I'd rather put someone... I have Akbar in mind. So his Night Sister team, however, is pretty good. I expect to see this on defense. Probably Ventress lead. I hope he puts Talzin lead. That's much easier to beat. Jedi. I mean, he has Zeta Qui-Gon. I'll probably see two Jedi teams on defense. Or one on defense and one on offense. Troopers. So my initial thought when I saw this was... So I don't have Talzin Zeta, and we'll kind of go through that in a little bit here. But I don't expect... So I'm going to put my Night Sisters on defense probably behind my Bosk, which will make him Trooper. Hopefully he'll Trooper my Bosk or something. I don't know. Like, how fast is his Stark? So 254. I'm pretty sure my Spirit's faster than that, because he goes up to 274 with the Veers lead. Galactic Republic. No Padme. Well, technically he has Padme right here, but, you know, he doesn't have Padme because she's gear 8. Also, Anakin and Ahsoka are both under-geared. No Zetas on the entire team. I expect he'll be Rex Wamping me at some point. First Order. So, not a particularly good First Order team either. Like, he has both Kylos, but like, he's just missing gear all over the place. Ewoks, he has C-3PO. He has all the Zetas on the Ewoks. This is probably just a Nest solo. We can kind of look at his... Again, I don't know if he'll put this on defense or not. Actually, no real potency. How fast is Paplu? Not that it matters. But I might try and Ewok mirror this for some more practice. Or not. Probably won't. Empire. His Thrawn was super slow, I noticed. I think it's 95. 96. So he probably won't be able to use Jedi Knight Revan plus Thrawn to beat my Darth Revan. Bounty Hunters. As you can see, he has a few. I'll probably see this on defense. Clones. None, really. So, nothing super, super scary. Decent roster, though. He has Vander Chewbacca, so he probably has the stall-out team. So that's also kind of worth noting. So I'm assuming the teams I'm going to see on defense are a Revan, maybe Jedi Revan, Grievous, almost definitely Night Sisters, probably Bounty Hunters, and then the stall-out team. So that's 5. So that means that the other 3 teams are probably going to be cobbled together. We'll kind of see. Unless he wants to put Ewoks on defense. But that's kind of how I look through my opponent's roster. Now let's come over here and I'll kind of show you. So, I don't know what everyone's complaining about. I have Malik. I have White Malik right here. He's right there between HK and Sith Trooper. He's been pretty good for me. Got me a few holds. So I'll probably be putting Darth Revan on defense. And I'll probably be putting Jedi Revan on defense too. After looking at it. Because I don't think he'll be able to put enough on defense to like... I don't think he can go super heavy defense and still full clear me. But I think if I put both my Revans on defense, I'm pretty sure I can still full clear him. Because I can use weaker teams to beat his Darth Revan. Which means I really only have to beat his Jedi Revan if he puts it on defense. So, my initial thoughts were to either... I'm going to be trying out Bugs on defense this round. Not sure where I'm going to put him yet. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be putting both of these 2 teams, my Phoenix and my Rogue One, behind my Darth Revan again. Because if my opponent can kill them, they can just have that row. So... I'm basically thinking like this. I'm going to beat his Night Sisters with the Triumvirate. I'm going to plan on beating his Jedi Revan with this plus Thrawn. And the rest are kind of just all B teams for the most part. So I'm not super worried about a lot of them, as you can see. So I can actually put, at least this is how I'm working it out in my head. This could go horribly wrong, and you can all laugh at me. And, you know, I welcome that. I'm doing this for my edification as much as yours. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting up my defense. So one of the things I like to do when I set up defense is I like to put down my number 1 squad I'm putting on defense first. So I'm going to put my White Malik team on defense up here. And then behind it, I'm going to go ahead and set the 2 cupcakes, because after going through his roster, I kind of walked over some of the teams that I think he will use. So if he can beat my Darth Revan, he can kind of have the rest of this. So we have those defenses in place. So now the question is, what do I want to put next to my Darth Revan, and what do I want to put below? So if my opponent saves Darth Revan for offense, I outspeed his team, which means he's probably not going to take it against my Darth Revan, which means he'll probably be saving it for my Jedi Revan if it's on defense. So what I personally like to do is I like to kind of just use these as cookie cutter teams. You can use Crew or Bosk on offense. I personally like to put them on defense because I think that they give my opponent slightly more problems, especially when you stack them together, because they have a lot of the same counters. For example, Emperor Palpatine counters both of them. JTR counters both of them. So I like to give my opponent lots of chances to screw up. So I think I'm going to put my either Night Sisters or Geos, because I always like to do, if I'm going to put both Revens on defense, I like to do the oops, did I do that? So I actually like putting Juhani with Revan because it gives an extra proc to his leadership. So if we come in here, yeah, I'm still not Zetaing direct focus. So at the start of battle, Jedi and Old Republic allies gain +5 speed, +5 crit chance, +5 offense for each Jedi and Old Republic ally. So basically, I'm giving all of my team +5 speed, +5 crit chance, and +5% offense. So that's going to help on defense versus some of their counters. So, also, I don't like Juhani with Karth because this putting her with Jedi Revan also ensures that she will never assist under a Karth lead, which is also pretty cool. Now, I have a few choices here. I can put Padme on defense, I can put Geos on defense, or I can put Night Sisters on defense. I could also put Karth on defense. So one of the things I usually walk and kind of noodle around in my head is, what am I using for what? Ignore this Grievous team. This Grievous team is garbage. It's one of my next projects. So I like Ewoks for offense because they're a good cleanup squad after you kill a couple of their characters, or they kill a bunch of the garbage teams that I see at the 4 million bracket, because we all have to put 8 teams on defense. Wigs for the same reason. Just a fair amount of DPS. My EP team I like to save for offense as well, for all of those reasons listed above. It's also a Night Sister counter in a pinch. That's the other reason I like Karth. Karth is also a Night Sister counter. They also counter other things, like Karth can beat Bosk. Karth can beat like pretty much any other garbage team as well. So I don't have any Tells late Zetas, which makes me more inclined to leave my Night Sisters on defense. Plus, my Spirit is faster than his Stark. Yeah, so my Spirit is 292. So my Spirit is faster than his Stark. I don't remember where my zombie is. My zombie's not faster than his Stark. But anyways, I should be able to get out of the gates pretty quick. Yeah, like, I'm definitely going to place my Jedi Revan on defense down here. And then it's just a question of what do I put on offense, or what else do I put on defense. So from what I was looking at, I think I want to put Night Sisters, and I want to try Geos on defense. So I think I'm going to put Geos up top, because a counter to Geos is Traya. I mean, my Geos are a little undergeared. My opponent doesn't have Traya either. So I don't know what he's going to do to counter them. And I'd kind of like to see if he can beat them. Again, my Geos are pretty undergeared. The next question is, do I want to use Poggle, or do I want to use Game Boy Advance lead? Right? So like Game Boy Advance gives all the extra health steal and max health and max protection. But it's worth noting that Poggle gives them extra offense. So I'm kind of torn, because I don't know if... I didn't put the Omega on. So I guess they're only 20%. I guess that makes my choice a lot easier. I lied. Game Boy Advance lead it is. I want to put it in front because I want to make sure my opponent has a shot at it. Right? So I'm actually going to put it right here. I won my first round. I meant to do this my first round too, but yeah, let me tell you how lazy I am at doing this. Buddy of mine keeps getting on me to actually do this. So then I think back here I'm going to put Night Sisters, because it really comes down to, do I want to put Night Sisters on defense or Padme on defense? And I think, based on what my opponent has, because I think my Padme team can probably beat a Jedi Revan team. I've had a little bit of success with it. Not a ton, but the extra Zeta on her unique helps. So I think I want to use that as more of a cleanup team as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Night Sisters on defense here. So that's kind of my thought process when I was kind of working it through. Because if we come here, we can kind of... I should have done this beforehand. But I was going to show you what I had left. So I saved myself enough to kill all of his things. So if we come back here, you can see I saved myself CLS, and that can go against his Jedi Revan. I saved myself Traya. I can 3v5 his Night Sisters. I saved myself Padme, which can beat his Jedi Revan team in a pinch. I think. I've had some success. Or it can take on the stall-out team, because I'm also a little concerned about the stall-out team. I can also use Traya versus the stall-out team 3v5, so that's also worth noting. JTR can also beat the stall-out team. I haven't tried it with Karth, and I don't think I'm going to try it with Karth, just because of how the team functions. I can also CLS down the stall-out team, but that's probably overkill. So, just kind of working through what I'm going to use. So, I saved myself, I think, more than enough for offense. I saved CLS, Traya, Padme, Nest, JTR, Karth, and EP. So those are my premier offense teams. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't think my opponent's going to put more than 7 teams on defense that I can't beat. I'm basically ensuring... Basically, one of the things I like to do is to ensure that if my opponent goes heavy defense, I can win. So putting both Revans on defense allows me to put a lighter defense than I normally would and still have confidence that they will hold. Well, thank you guys for watching this, and I hope we all learned something. I will see you for my Grand Arena.